my review of Pilot Institute. It's the story of how I went from knowing pretty much nothing about drones to now being a certified remote pilot. The video itself is not sponsored, but I did get the free shirt by scoring 90% on the test, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Right now, I wanted to go over how everything kind of works, how the process works, and if it's something that you want to try. So the story begins in 1972. I'm kidding. I like doing some geeky stuff sometimes, photography, radio waves, new technology, stuff like that. Needless to say, I've known a little bit about drones, and naturally, I figured I'd probably get into it at some point. I kind of knew the rules of, don't fly over 400 feet, don't fly near airports, all that kind of stuff. But as far as having an actual course to follow, that's where Pilot Institute came in. Back in 2016, I actually designed a website for some drone cinematographers, and then we fast forward to May of this year, and I stumbled on a pretty cheap drone that kind of got the fly bug started in me. So where do you start and where did I start? The first things first is you're going to want to get a trust certificate. Ooh, scary. It's actually just a quiz that kind of gets you going on basic rules, basic stuff. I know, rules, super fun. I ended up running across Pilot Institute's website for it because they actually offer it for free. And you sign up, they give you have your login for it, and then everything gets deleted once you finish it and once you finish the certificate. If you want to go the extra crazy mile like me, you can get it laminated. It's just something that you carry with you as a adult in the United States who's flying drones recreationally. Kind of shows that you know how to use your head. Cool. So you have your trust certificate in hand now, and depending on how big your drone is, you might need to register it. If you're doing commercial work, you're definitely going to need to register it. What you can do is, again, Pilot Institute is offering stickers for free. Once you get done with the FAA portion of the registration, you send them your information, they'll send you some stickers, and it's got some cool styles, so you can put that on your drone. Another freebie. What's the catch with this site? The catch is going to be that if you want to fly commercially, you're going to need your Part 107 license. That is going to cost money. It's $175 through the testing center, and then Pilot Institute charges their own prices for the course. There is a way to kind of do it for free if you watch YouTube videos and that sort of thing, but you don't get the practice quizzes, you don't get a course material, you don't get the printouts. I kind of like the way that this is structured. It's like a classroom, and if you pass all their quizzes and still fail the test somehow, you'll actually get a full refund. So that's cool, and it's really not going to be needed because it's pretty much you're going to pass. For myself, I'm a visual learner. I like to see the charts, I like to see videos, that's how I learn. But they have audio, not audiobooks, but audio lessons that you can listen to once you're done with that. They also have printouts, you can have an entire worksheet, syllabus, all that kind of stuff. So you can read it, you can hear it, and you can see it. So whatever your learning style is, there's kind of something for everyone built into this course. The instructor, Greg, is very clear when he's speaking. I didn't feel like he was going too fast, and I could follow along pretty easily. Then when you're practicing and everything like that, there's flashcards too, and they have an app, so it helps you track your progress. I kind of felt like I was almost overwhelmed with the amount of options they had for you to study, but once you're done with this, you actually learn something. You feel like you know the course. You're not just learning the answers to something so that you go to passing. Next up is the in-person test. Ooh, scary. Once you are finished with all of the training materials, have passed multiple practice exams, and you feel like you've got the whole thing down, you go ahead and schedule your test. It's actually really nice at the testing centers. They've got air conditioning, there's lockers for your phone and keys, wallet, and they even have super noise canceling headphones that you will not hear a single thing if you need absolute silence. I probably should have used those because the guy that was on the other side of the cubicle from me for some reason felt the need to just kick the cubicle the entire time. Yeah, anyways, you are all set at the testing center. They're super nice there, and I didn't have to wait for any amount of time. I was just instantly put in a testing booth, and I was even early to my appointment. After a nerve-wracking 2 hours and 65 questions, yes, they added like an extra 5 to try out or something. When I was done with it, they congratulated me on a 90% score, and I got a free t-shirt from Pilot Institute as a result of showing them the test results. But anyways, I took the test results, went on to the FAA site, and filled out the application. Now, Pilot Institute actually has videos, materials, and training talking about that, so you don't even have to get lost of how do I fill out this scary application on this government website. Just some study tips I would say is go at your own pace. There's not really a rush on this. Learn however you feel comfortable with. For me, I at a moderate pace probably got it done in a month. You can cram and get this done in 2 weeks, but don't move forward until you definitely feel like you're comfortable with it and that you've learned the materials so that you're going to pass. Once I passed and filled out my application, I actually got the temporary certificate in 24 hours, but I would say to use the time between the temporary certificate and your permanent certificate to maybe practice flying under the 107 rules, make sure that you understand everything, make sure that you're set on stuff like how to do your remote ID, how to get the registration for your drone, which you need to do after getting the temporary certificate, before flying commercially, and that kind of thing. So make sure you know what you're doing, kind of get a checklist together, have the weather where you're checking the weather, check the flights that are going overhead, make sure that you are comfortable with flying commercially, that you are following all the rules prior to putting yourself out there with commercial clients. Now, I'm not the best person with networking, but something I found that's kind of easy to do for finding new people is don't charge at first, which, you know, that's difficult to say, but don't charge at first, and just find people that you already know, like a real estate agent or insurance agent, or even like a small business, or if you work for a small business, let them know that you're trying to build your portfolio, you're a commercial pilot, and you'll do this for free. Now, if they like it, like in the case of a real estate agent, they can come back to you and you can get paid work, and you already have your foot in the door with it. If they don't like it, you still get something in your portfolio, and depending on the footage or what you're filming, you can actually use it as stock footage too and sell it that way. That's kind of my quick review of Pilot Institute, and they really do hold your hand through the entire process. I do have links to the course and links to the trust certificate and links to the registration stickers, so you can do all of that yourself and get started on your journey. I'm wishing you the best of luck. If you have any questions, you can post them down below. I'm not an absolute expert on everything, but I will answer things from my perspective and what I've done. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.